Hey students, this is a Think Aloud to show you how to work through this assignment that we're calling the bigger picture. So you have a chart that looks actually like this that you've accessed through Canvas or Google Classroom, whichever your teacher directed you to do. And it's partially done. I've completed part of it for you. I'm just going to spend a minute or so and show you how I completed this part. You can see the first row is done for you. It's got an example, an explanation of how I knew it was personification, and then I'll finish this part in a second. And it's got the most important part, I guess, which we're going to call the bigger picture, which is the whole point of personification. Why did the author use personification, and what is the effect of it, I guess, on the poem or the story or anything, whatever it is that you're reading. So here's the blank chart. You can see there's the two poems down below, the first one by Tupac and the next one by Ronald Wallace. So I found an example of personification here. The rose that grew from a crack in the concrete, proving nature's law is wrong, it learned to walk without having feet, I guess. So the rose learned to walk, and also it keeps its dreams. It learned to breathe fresh air, right? So those are things that people can do. People breathe fresh air. People prove nature's law wrong. People learn to walk. But in this case, it's saying that a rose did it. So that's why it's personification. So I just took that that one of those examples down there, and I'm just going to copy and paste, I guess. Control C and Control V. There's my example. Show that something came before it, I guess. Good. How did I know it was an example of personification? I know because roses don't breathe. People breathe and love to breathe fresh air. And then let's just see what else did I come up with here. Alright, so roses aren't capable of enjoying something like breathing fresh air. Only people are. I'll stick with my example that's on the document that you have. And I'll just put it right there. Right, so that's the answer. How did I know it was an example of personification? Roses aren't capable of something like breathing fresh air. It makes the rose seem like a person who's breathing fresh air. Okay? So in this case, a rose is being compared to a human breathing fresh air. Okay? Remember on the pretest you did not have to fill this in because we didn't ask you to identify what two things are being compared, because in personification something's always being compared to a person. And then here's the most important part, the bigger picture. What's the whole point of this? And I filled it in. I answered the question by saying the rose, in this case sort of a symbol for a person, can learn to be happy and free, even if it doesn't seem like it'd be able to, because it's growing up through the concrete. Right? So this is just the whole point. This is why. What's the effect of that? Okay, so on your handout, I've identified the second one for you, which is this part, proving nature's wrong, it learned to walk without having feet, and we put it right there on your on there for you. So it's your job to fill in this one. How do you know it's an example of personification? Without me just telling you that it is. How do you think it is now? You're going to do this part. Again, we've got the rose as being compared to a person learning to walk. I guess I just gave you the answer there. And the most important part, the big picture, fill it in over here. Notice you can draw, on the last one we're asking you to find an example and complete the whole row yourself. And in this one we've identified an example for you. So you can choose your second example or your third example from the second poem called You Can't Write a Poem About McDonald's. And you may not even have to read the whole poem, but I suggest that you do. Alright, good luck.